tips. My sidekick Rima is not able to join us. We wish her well, but she'll be here. She'll be with us next time. However, my able team is here with us. My name again is Eunice Nyandat. I am the founder of My Biz Marketer, a marketing agency for startups, helping businesses in the tech world communicate their products and services out to their customer base. So we help you navigate or create a path to your customers. So we had a webinar last month about social media marketing. And a lot of you were like, well, how, there's so many changes happening. So how do we, take advantage of the social media to market ourselves? And how do we overcome some of these hurdles that we have? I don't have the answers, all the answers for you, but the tips, I hope, will help someone. So let's start first of all with what do I have for you today? I have about social media marketing, a bit of stats. I go into individual platforms, and then some tips, and then we'll have some Q&A. So this is what's happened to our social media platform since COVID-19 happened. Everything went up. Well, we were home. What else could we do, right? We could only connect with folks through our social media channels, your phones, your Facebook, so WhatsApp, or you are playing video games or you're watching more videos, consuming more content, right? So I'll just say this, that the way you participate, market, or get engaged on any of these platforms now on, you have to be cognizant with all the platform changes, the algorithm, the different audience changes, so that you remember, before COVID, a lot of people were really using social, but now they are. So we've gained more people than before. So look at your data to see what your audience is doing, how they're engaging, so that you can now make a decision. We have a poll. I want to know, Nina, could we push that poll out before I go any further?
It's not letting me. Could you try it from your end?
Let's see. Got it. Let's see. Polls. Launch it. All right. All right. Let's take 30 seconds to fill this in. Let us know what you are, so that I know how to tailor this conversation. You can see entrepreneurs, both. Entrepreneur, you're likely to be doing the marketing as well. Awesome. So we have 5 marketers, 2 entrepreneurs, and both. Everybody got a chance? A couple more seconds. Here we go. Both. All right. So here we go. Let me share the results. So this is the breakdown of who is in the room right now. So you got entrepreneurs, we got 2, marketers 5 out of 11, doing both. Most definitely, if you're an entrepreneur, you're doing both. Thank you so much for sharing. Right, let me close this out. So let's get into it. So in the world, the most used platform. I don't, no surprise for you guys here. This is Facebook and of course YouTube and WhatsApp. So you now know where to get involved if you want to get you want to get visibilities. But remember, always examine that the audience that you're playing to. For example, if I were to target ages between 13 to 22, maybe, I might consider Instagram. I might consider Instagram as well as Snapchat. Now, Snapchat chats is new in Kenya. You'll see the stats on Snapchat Kenya shortly, but it's not widely used by anybody over me, say 25. So remember, I may be whatever age I am, I'm not going to tell you though, but because I have a target audience in that range, I need to get involved in that platform. Now, how to engage in that, we'll talk about it later. So here are the stats of Kenya. So most popular, of course, no surprise, we've got the most users on Facebook, followed by Twitter, Instagram, well, no, followed by Instagram and LinkedIn. Now, that is the platforms that allow you to do a lot more. And I think when you look at, I believe actually WhatsApp is now going to be able to enable ads, so that when you do a boost on Facebook and Instagram, it also crosses over to WhatsApp. Details are still very, very new, but I hear that that's coming. So here is the posting versus timing versus engagement on all platforms. Please bear in mind, this is globally. So you have to look at your individual accounts to see what your best times are. Look at the dead zones on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And then look at the time for everything. So 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Instagram. So it could be 5 p.m. and 5 to 6 p.m. Kenya time, or it could be 5 to 6 p.m. US time or UK time. Okay. What do you need to know about the content you need to be putting in? And there's a lot, you've got a lot of options. So here's a tip. You've got to be creative, but don't worry about the technicalities so much as your content that engages. For example, you create an image to communicate, hey, it's Wednesday, we made it through the week, and that is a fun fact or a fun post to put in. And then you ask, how's your Wednesday going? And instantly also add how yours is going, so that then invites people to start to share. Oh, I'm having a great Wednesday, or I'm having a horrible Wednesday, whatever it is. And so be creative with this post. So there's all kinds of things you can do, memes, photos, a story, a simple story, something happened at work. Say a dog wandered into your offices and you don't know where it came from. It's a story, share it. And the more you get that kind of content in there, the more exciting and engaging, and the more people return to your page. And a big tip here, I don't think video is going away. Video is just gonna get crazier. So we will have to do more and more of it. The great news here is that video doesn't have to be an hour long like our webinars, doesn't have to be some extended production. It can be something you create with a couple of images. So Kenyans use Facebook a lot. Well, right up there with WhatsApp. So maximize on that. How and what are Kenyans using these social media platforms for? So they're on their phones consuming social media. So when you think about it, making sure your content is mobile ready is going to be important, right? Kenyans 21 to 35 were spending more time than anybody else, right? So if you're marketing to them, then you definitely cannot avoid being on social. This is the education level of everybody at our platform. So yeah, you can see college level at 39.4% on Facebook, right? But what's up? They're at 40%, right? Gosh, I had no idea about this one. Kenyans, 46% of you are still on Yahoo. I thought everybody had moved on to Gmail. So those are the stats. Here we're talking about breakdown from age and what platform they're on and what percentages are there, the percentage breakdown. So the duration spent, and I'll pause on this, the duration spent on social media on a typical day, which you can see most people is less than 30 minutes. And I can understand why, because listen, you have to be, if you're not on a steady connections of landline, fiber or Wi-Fi, and you're on your bundles, you're cognizant of how you're spending your time. But you can see there are folks who are on here for 2 to 3 hours or more. And I believe those probably hours are spent on watching videos on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. And that could also be consuming something educational. They could also be consuming the news, but they're also looking for something to entertain them. So if there's something engaging and fun on your web, on your platform, or on your page, they're going to be there enjoying it. And now I would like to get your details about something. Here's another poll. Dina, I can't see the other polls. Or maybe drop down here. I found it, sorry. All right, launch. So what platform are you spending the most time at? I bet you, right? Well, I want to see what happens with Snapchat. Oh, I'm glad to see there's somebody on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. LinkedIn, no. Here we go, come on. Facebook's winning still. One more second. See, one more person could submit. Awesome, awesome. All right. Share the results. So guess what? I guess our stats were right. You guys are spending a lot more time on Facebook. And wow, in LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Snapchat, not really. We can talk about that. Wow, okay. Let's do another one. Now, which social media platform do you prefer to do your marketing on? Where are you trying to reach your customers at? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Awesome. Think of 2 more people, 1 more. Going once, going twice. All right, I'll end the poll now. So again, Facebook wins. Well, no surprise there. No surprise there. And now another one here, just to understand how you're using social media. Now, here we go. Which social media platform do you find the hardest to work on? LinkedIn. I agree. LinkedIn is difficult. Snapchat, I agree. Pinterest is easy. We'll talk about that. Facebook, awesome. Gosh, come on, we got 2 more people. Let's get the last 2 in there, then we can close the poll. Awesome, awesome. All right, here we go. And a resounding heck no for LinkedIn. It is difficult. I maybe want to know why that is, but I can agree it can be difficult. And depending on industry, it can even, it can make things difficult. TikTok is new, so I can understand why, the hesitation and wondering how to position yourself there. So those are the results. Let me stop sharing. And the last one, I promise. This one's an easy one. All right, are you the decision maker? Do you have creative control on what goes onto our social media platforms? All right. Got a couple more people in there, and then we can close the poll. Oh, this is fantastic. Majority, good 90% of you are. All right, let me end the poll. Here we go. So 90% of you are decision makers. The challenge is when you're not, your creative powers cannot be put out there for the world, for you to experiment with and see what works. All right, let's proceed. So FYI, this is what people, Kenyans are, for the most part, consuming content on online, right? For the most part, they're looking for entertainment, education, it comes next, and then business. I'm surprised that politics is this low, but I thought it would be number 1 or 2. Food and fashion is at the bottom. Travel is not even. So I really, really, feel for the travel industry and hospitality industry at this time, because you can see Kenyans aren't searching for travel so much. All right. A little breakdown on female versus male, what platforms they're on. Us ladies are still slacking on the in getting involved with social media. I think we're a little shy, but we're not too far behind. We're catching up. What blew me away is the number of females on Snapchat, right? Look at that, it's the highest. The guys are on, is that Telegram, I think? Yes, that's Telegram. So if you've not been engaging in Telegram and your market basis involves men, then you're missing out. Right, so there's this report where we got our stats so that you can also enjoy and peruse and gather more information on the state of social media in Kenya. We'll send out the link. The team here will send you the PDF so you can take a deeper dive into it. So now let's talk about the platforms. So Facebook, for the most part, I'd like to encourage you to do this. Because of the way the algorithm is and what Facebook chooses to show and not to show, Your best bet these days is to do videos. Create them. They don't have to be long. They can be with slides, as I said before. You don't even have to use your voice if you don't want to. You can do a voiceover. There's tools to do that. Create more video content, and then engage more, meaning you have to be on there to push engagement, ask questions, drive conversation as much as you can. In fact, one of our recommendation is, if you're going to engage, tell a story, and then maybe do a series and see how it works. Here's why. Look at the number of people on Facebook. I think we've talked about this. I don't even need to be like this. And what you share on Facebook can be shared on Instagram. Tip one here is cross-pollinate all your content. If you've got content on Facebook, make sure it's on Instagram, LinkedIn, and pin it on Pinterest. Why that is important is not only helps on your SEO, but it gets you more traffic out. So if somebody wanted to, doesn't like Pinterest, but show your content because it showed up on their browser via Pinterest, they'll click on the link and go back to the original content video because that's how interested they are. So cross-pollinate all platforms, right? The challenge may be the design it because of video or image size, but try as best as you can to cross-pollinate all platforms. So the best use of the best content types that you can use on Facebook's those contests. Now, Kenya has rules about contests. If you Google Kenya contents rules, you'll find those. So if you're giving away money or giving away a product or something, there's some rules you have to adhere to. That people get excited about contests and winning something, but make sure they actually win and use the user, the person who's won feedback into your posts, so that people get trust that when you do contests, people actually do gain something. And also it helps you generate content that is engaging. So if Eunice wins, for example, a bag from an e-commerce platform, and I take a picture of myself saying, hey, I received my bag, thank you, and I post it on your platform, reshare it or repurpose that content and saying, hey, this is October's winner for our special bags. Thank you, Eunice. And then, comment below and say hi to Eunice or something like that, and tag Eunice as well, so that way our audience can see your content and see the bags that you're selling, and that gets you a bigger visibility. Facebook groups, people are taking advantage of those. A lot of these books let you promote. Some even charge as little as 50 bob to promote your ad or yourself. Join as many groups as you can, and go on to each groups and engage there. Chat, participate in a story, comment, and leave your link so that they follow you back. All right, going live. We are live right now on Facebook, right? So whenever you get a chance, you're out somewhere doing something that might interest your audience, go live. You don't have to show yourself. You're filming the environment you're in, or you're in the office and something funny is happening that you can safely share. Spilled my cup of coffee and look at the disaster, I have to go change. Those are things that people get excited about and will want to consume and engage with, so participate in that. Instagram's the same rules. The algorithm changes so often these days, we can't even keep track, but here's some tips. For example, when you have 10,000K followers, you unlock certain features. I haven't even seen those features. I can't even tell you about them, but I'm still trying to investigate about this, and we'll share that in our newsletter later. If you've got 30K followers, you're an influencer, meaning you can move product. Really, that means you can get more clients, pretty much. So I've laid out here, again, I don't repeat this, but for sure, you're getting more by being creative. Be curious and be creative, and experiment as much as you can. And for the most part, what we lack is the engagement. We post and we go away. So go back in there, start the conversation, tag somebody, engage with somebody, cross-pollinate across the other platforms. So yeah, some rules about Instagram. I think you guys know this. I don't have to repeat this, but just remember that your photo size so that it looks nice, nothing is chopped off. If you're going with some aesthetic on your Instagram profile, maybe you have a hue of, let's say, purple. For us, it's orange and gray. That's the state. So when somebody visually views our profile, it's easier on the eyes and easy to consume, and people now will stay on the page longer and engage longer, right? So structured, tell that story again. Storytelling is going to be the key and the game changer. It's no longer about pushing, I am selling this, I'm selling bags. It more tell the story of how Eunice won a bag and where she went with it. And say, hey, look, we spotted our bags somewhere. We've been seeing our bags this way. So find a way to create a story around it. So look at this post, Instagram post and engagement chat. This is part industry engagement. Higher education gets the best engagement. I did not even know this, and let's just say not knowing about it, but I'm surprised at it. I am surprised at sports teams, I guess, because guys like to engage and are competitive, so there'll be engagement going on because of the sports teams. And then the list is health and beauty. Does that surprise anybody? Does that surprise anybody? Very, very interesting. I would have thought because of all these beauty tutorials, how to put on my eyelashes or how to put on my eyebrows or whatever, or styling my hair would drive a lot of engagement, but I guess not. So look at the industries and see where they lay versus engagement, what you post and how people engage with them, right? A tip I've got here for you is try long form storytelling, and we can talk about it a little later. Some more on Instagram. If you want to get likes, do all these things, post photos of you, milestone posts, funny reels, reviews, motivations. If you want to get comments, game this. Challenges, advice, ask me anything. And then people save things. So they save your profile because you've shared a how-to, a step-by-step tutorial, how to create a TikTok video. Like we could do that and share it with you, and probably you will save it because you want to know how to do it. Resources lists, people like those. Chats and whatever. So, and then shares, people share trending reels. So if you ride on a trend and you create, recustomize that content and it gets struck, people will reshare it, relatable memes, all that. So look at what people are likely to share and then do a combination of all this and then see your Instagram following grow and conversion improve. But do not forget to put your call to action. Always have a call to action somewhere, always. So TikTok, new to everybody. How do you engage with TikTok? One of the things is that TikTok is a video sharing platform, and that's what it is, short form. And people have done videos from 30 seconds to 3 minutes now. They're allowing up to 3 minutes. How do I create a video? It's simple. If you don't want to put your face on there, create a slide, do a voiceover, and experiment. Show off your products. I've got this product, and you look at the new and improved, do what, and share, and then put links in the bio, and off you go. And that's how brands are now beginning to introduce themselves on TikTok. Over 2 billion people are on TikTok now. Now, Kenyans are on TikTok as well, right? Here's my favorite TikToker. You all know this person? Yeah, what's her name? If you do know her, let me know. She's not only on TikTok, Nope, don't know her. Okay, I'm gonna play a little video. I'm not gonna play it all the way, but hopefully it works. Hold on. Just a minute. Let me share. Share that video for you in a minute. Hopefully it doesn't buffer too much. So this is her. It's loading. Oh, hold on. Let me share it. Stop share. Reshare. For some reason, it wouldn't let me share my desktop. Let me know if you can see my screen, guys. Thumbs up.
Dear Black people, here are some of the things that school did not teach you about melanin.
Melanin, but is also in your nervous system, which causes you to transmit information faster and to store more information than any other race. Melanin is also in your eyes that cause you to absorb more color than any other race. And of course, is in your ears, you absorb more sound. So you will see colors differently than anybody else, and you will hear differently. So therefore, your music will always be different. You always put together colors differently. Melanin is in your taste buds, which cause you to have the ability to taste the full flavor of the food. You absorb more taste. So you always combine your food differently, and you eat somebody else's food and say that's bland or whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? It's what we call the biochemical marker of life.
Right. So she found a subject to talk about, and then, you know, transposed that video and shared it. This video has received, oh my goodness, 1.8 million views. 1.8 million views. So imagine, you know, you could find something that's interesting. For example, I could say interesting stats about TikTokers in Kenya, capture that, and then put in all the stats in slides and share it. All right. So TikTok is that easy. That little video is 58 seconds long. But now think about communicating your message, talking about your brand, or making some interesting or telling a story on TikTok and doing a series of it. So it doesn't have to be what TikTok is famous for, dances and challenges, but you could do a challenge for whatever industry. So for example, if in the travel industry, you could do a challenge on travel. How many locations could you visit in Kenya in the next 1 year? And you keep track of the folks that try to participate in that challenge, and then probably do a giveaway, right? So this, just as you're consuming Instagram, think about that content that you put on Instagram that can go onto TikTok. Or you start with a 30-second on TikTok and then take it over to a 3-minute or 15-minute video on Instagram. So here's a snapshot of TikTokers in Kenya. We've got, if you go to the hashtag Kenyan TikTokers, it's the 125 million views on content Kenyan TikTokers are making. And there's other hashtag for Kenya, just Google Kenya and you'll see. And so if I were to create some content and put in that hashtag, I would wind up around on here. So if somebody's following this hashtag, they're likely to see my content and get consumed. The other thing is TikTok allows people to reshare or what we call duet your video. So if I say duet this, I'm going to try and do one thing every day. Duet, it's showing me what you do every day. And let's see how many people duet it, and make it a fun thing, right? That drives engagement, and cross-pollinate that content onto Instagram as well as YouTube and any other platform that allows you to share video. And please, if we didn't learn anything from Facebook and Instagram's meltdown the other day, have a website and snapshot this content into your website so that it stays there, all right? So that when things are down, your website carries some of this content for you. So TikTok for business, here's some rules. We'll send this to you so that you can figure out how you can get involved, and I can answer any questions that you have about this. LinkedIn, the most difficult platform, you said. And the reason why, it's because it's business to business. When you're doing B2C, although there are millions of people on LinkedIn, it is hard to do. LinkedIn is more about creating relationships. So go create relationships first, connect with people first, engage with them, post content. The same way you're sharing content on Instagram, you can share on LinkedIn. However, try to be less, don't intimate things about, stuff that you'd post on Facebook, you and your cat or whatever, may not be the appropriate thing to do on LinkedIn. But if you're sharing a how to do this on LinkedIn, it's really appreciated and people are likely to engage with you. The time you want to spend on LinkedIn is maybe a little more, but maybe you can choose to post once a week as opposed to Facebook, where you're maybe twice or thrice a week, or even once a day, every day of the week. The number of Kenyans on LinkedIn, 2 million. Now, if you're trying to reach decision makers, this is where you're going to have to find them. So you cannot avoid LinkedIn, just have to be clever or creative on how you engage. If you think of it as where you show your expertise, then it helps you, improve your relationships on LinkedIn, so that then it helps you convert to convert customers out of it. So you'll be talking to decision makers on LinkedIn. If you don't have a company page, create one. Because there you're freer there to create company content and post anything about products and services you put up about your company, and as well as your tutorials, share your blog posts, share your activities and CSRs that you're doing on the company page. Twitter is great. Twitter's improved. Twitter is trying to figure out where it sits between communication, because folks go on to Twitter to read the latest news, to see what's trending, to engage in conversation. So you might want to be there because your whatever field you're in, there's a conversation being had about it. So, for example, a tip, for example, that you could use depending on what industry you're in, is having discussions. Start a conversation, tag people on it so that conversation continues. Ask a question, right? For the most part, when Twitter started, we used to just post content and share blog posts and share videos, but go beyond that and now try and drive engagement. And again, I'm going to remind you to distribute this content so that if this conversation you're having on Twitter is meaningful, have it on your website, share it on your LinkedIn, so that your LinkedIn customers or audience can go over to Twitter and engage, and vice versa. Things that are trending on Twitter right now that you could take advantage of is those tweet threads. It's kind of like you're creating a mini blog post. So I could say social media tips that I shared today, and just give a thread of maybe 10 tweets under one thread of me sharing all the tips I've shared today. And that can drive an enormous amount of engagement, because people will like a certain tip and retweet it. Create an image if you can, and do it so that it's visual, so that people then resonate with it, and it gets that visibility and gets engagement. Twitter Spaces, this has become available, so you can create a Twitter space. It's somewhat like Clubhouse, if you all know Clubhouse, which I forgot to put in here, but you can use Twitter Spaces just like you would Clubhouse. Tweet chats, having those. It used to be a bigger deal about when Twitter started. Tweet chats are not happening as much, but I think they'll be overtaken by Tweet Spaces because it's similar to Tweet chat, but there's audio and all that good stuff. So you could try those, because it's a way of engaging your audience. Here's the Twitter engagement stats. This is global, this is not Kenya, but I think it's helpful to see what industries do best on Twitter. A surprise for me was media doesn't do very well. I don't know why. I need to understand this better. I know I could not for the life of me understand why, the engagement is not happening. They tweet a lot, but there's no engagement, right? Higher education, tweet okay, but they do very well. I'm wondering what's going on with higher education, right? So here it is in another visual, so you can see it better. Snapchat. Well, this one is one to get used to, not the easiest, but you heard that females are on here. So if you're looking to reach Kenyan women, they're on to Snapchat. That we would have to do a special webinar on just Snapchat, but look at the number of people on Snapchat. By the way, when Snapchat launched, they launched in Kenya before most countries, right? And to the surprise of the world that Kenyans want social media. I don't know why people were surprised, but it's something to consider. Pinterest. And here's where Pinterest is most underrated, right? This is pins with the tag Kenya. You can see travel stuff, you can see merchandise, and you can see somebody selling those sandals for $45, trips and stuff about Nairobi. Here's the stats of Pinterest. 200 million active using, 1 billion pins. Here's how people are using Pinterest. And for the most part, the audience here is women, and they're pinning house decor, what they like to wear, what they like to find and buy. Like, I like that outfit, I pin it, and I'll go try and see if I can find the entire look and wear that. I can pin brand stuff that I like, makeup stuff or products, any product that I like, and a pin. A holiday I'd like to go to with that billion shillings we want. There we go. We can go pin all the locations we want. What that does is boost your SEO, because with the pins, you have your site, your product, you're linked to the product, especially if you have an e-commerce site. And that then builds the following. So more people see it, the more people are likely to go back to your site to purchase. In fact, Pinterest has turned on purchasing on their site. I don't know if they've turned it on yet for Kenya. I'll have to check. But do not ignore Pinterest. If nothing at all, use it for SEO. So that's the tip for that. Use it for SEO. Pin products, pin services, pin presentations, pin whatever you can on Pinterest. So let's go into tips. The biggest tips of all is the content types. I think that's because it's what we struggle with. And we don't know what to share. We don't know what to put. We don't know how to create. Start with a story. And if we take away anything from this webinar today, it's the story thing. If we create stories around stuff we do, around our services, story of how to develop a website with a minimal budget, or how to dress. If you're an e-commerce platform, you're showing people how to go from office wear to night or evening wear, or if you're in travel, the sights and sounds of a location. Mombasa, for example, here's us living from Nairobi, going to Mombasa, whether we're driving or flying. Here's our arriving, here's us checking in. Create that story. That will get people coming back. So today you post, we're driving to Mombasa. Here's us at Savo. We passed Changamwe, whatever. And then we have arrived. The next post you put is us checking into the hotel, is checking it at the beach, us checking out this, each post is transitional of the whole trip. It gets people coming back. Excuse me. It gets people coming.
The more civilized you are.
Sorry.
The more melanin you have, the more psychic you are. I'm saying the more melanin you have.
Technical difficulties again. Just a minute. So sorry about that. The video is still playing in the background. I'm so sorry. All right, so let's proceed. So we talked about contests and teasers. If you've got merchandise around your office, give away, win a free T-shirt, and win free lunch, free coffee from Java. Something, always giving away something will get you something, get you engagement, get you conversions. So try that, you be creative. That's what I'm saying. Memes, animations, like we mentioned, going live, do the best you can to be creative. Show how your products are used, because sometimes people don't buy because they don't know how to use your product, or how to access your service. Just demonstrate that. Chatbots, for the most part, I don't think Kenyans engage with the chatbots, just because we've gone to sites and we click on a chatbot and there's nobody there to respond. It's not because we don't want to ask a question or engage with you. It's because we've tried and there's nobody responding. So if you're going to use them, and they're very effective, try and make sure that you've got notifications stand on to receive that and they're able to respond back. Hosting webinars or virtual events, ask me anything, chat with us, coffee hour, whatever it is. The webinar could be a how-to. I know Beatrice is here, and thank you, Beatrice, for coming. Beatrice has this fantastic charcoal that she sells that most people absolutely love because they're smokeless, and you can demonstrate lighting that charcoal, show how it burns and all that good stuff. That gets people saying, oh, so that's how you use the product. Right? Co-market with other brands. Ardy Marketing and My Biz Marketers are co-marketing and co-branding. So that way, my audience gets to meet Ardy, Ardy's audience gets to meet My Biz Marketer. I partner with other brands so that we cross-pollinate our audience, especially since they're similar audiences, so that then we gain visibility and new clients from that base. Spotlight your customers and vendors. The shout out to Ardy Marketing, and thank you so much for being a fantastic partner. Shout out to all and sundry so doing all that helps gain visibility, because when you tag another brand, that audience gets to see you engaging with that brand. You buy brand trust as well from working with a brand that's trusted and liked and all that good stuff. So start working with your suppliers, your partners, your vendors to cross-pollinate for each other. User-generated content, most underused, and it should be. So when somebody comes and comments on your posts and asks, say for example, somebody posted on My Biz Marketer, how do I start with TikTok, right? So with that question, I can capture that and repurpose that so that I'm tagging the person that asked that question, and creating content around it. I may do a video answering that question, or I do a tutorial on how to, and then post it and then tag her and ask her if she likes it or he likes it and it works, please share with all their friends. And that goes on to, I bet you it gets shared over and over and over again because it's helpful. Continue with tips. Groups underutilized because maybe there's too much, but groups on LinkedIn, groups on Facebook, get in there because that's where you meet people, and the more you engage in those groups, that audience follows you back, right? They follow you back to find out more about you. So you're wondering, okay, I don't have enough following, but nobody knows you. So the only way to get known is you got into this group and engage, have conversation. If you're in travel, participate in travel groups from all over the world. You want to sell safari packages to folks, you participating and answering questions about Kenyan safari travel in Kenya, in groups all over the world, Facebook, Black people who travel to Africa, those get you more business. So if you're an e-commerce platform and you're selling a certain type of product, say to women's products, participate in groups where women entrepreneurs and all that good stuff. Be creative, guys. But and every time you get a chance, and a post you've posted has gained traction, views, likes, try and boost it a little. Spend $10, which is $1,000 bob. Boost it a little to get you more out of the algorithm that is Facebook and Instagram, that then bring you more. What that does is it lets Facebook and Instagram learn who your audience is so that they bring you more of that audience, right? And the right audience for you. So more tips. It's, the reason we're doing this is so that we grow our followings, get leads, get conversions. But the most difficult thing to do is creating quality and valuable content. And that's why I say experiment and see what people like and gravitate to. You may not be in an industry where contests are possible, but you could be in an industry where how-tos are very helpful. Distribution, another one. That content that's sitting on your social media platform, when they go dark, like Facebook did or WhatsApp did, how do your customer find you? Please have a website, right? So that's there too, so that they can consume it there. So, and believe you me, we're going to an age where cybersecurity is going to be a big thing. That's an industry that's going to grow gangbusters. These sites are going to go down often, and they are. So please protect yourself. Make sure you've got a website so that you can host your content, which you own outright. If algorithms change and you're not getting visibility like you used to, this is they don't care about you. They're caring about the millions they make. So make sure you're protecting your brand, with creating your own platform, which is your website, to share this content. Blog post that. This is us doing this. Download that video, post it on YouTube, download it, put it on Vimeo, then put it on your website. So no matter whatever platform goes down, yours is still up. So simple ones, I think you guys know this. To get visibility with or to gain following, tag people that you would like to get in front of. Don't just tag somebody. For example, you could tag an influencer, and yeah, I find if they allow tagging, but you get the wrong audience. Be careful with who you're tagging, but make sure you tag, because that also tells the algorithm that this person is more like co-signing that, you're co-signing with them, that they're in alignment with what you're sharing. So if I share something on social media tips and I tag Ardy Marketing and I tag Penina and I tag whatever this, because those people are in that realm, and that builds my visibility on the platform. The algorithm learns that this is who needs to see this type of content, and they promote it for me. Polls and polls work very, very well on Twitter. I'm seeing a lot more of them on LinkedIn lately. And I'm seeing people engaging with them because they're easy to engage with. That's the other thing. So when you make it easy to engage with, the better. If you're making it a complicated process, give us your email, sign up for this, it's not gonna work, and it's not gonna go viral. And you want it to go viral, whatever viral means for your industry and your services. So content, the types that you could share is other, what milestones you guys have. For example, my biz marketer is, 13 years old, 14 years old. And we've worked with, I don't know how many brands. So those are milestones. Or we've reached $1 billion in revenue, that $1 billion shillings in revenue. Those are things we could share that may get people's attention and get people talking about us. I always talk about behind the scenes, and I've never done one, and I should. Behind the scenes are fun, behind the scenes at the salon, behind the scenes at an e-commerce platform where you show your behind the scenes, where you're packaging things and the border guy is coming to pick up your package that needs to be delivered. Show it being delivered to the customer. And so people then begin to trust the process that it is that you go, then they trust your business more, right? Write hashtags. Yeah, those aren't going away. Just don't use too many. Maximum 25, right? I've talked about cross promote with brands, other brands that like brands that you can call sister brother brands that you know well with your vendors or your suppliers. Try the best you can to do that, because that if anything helps the algorithm more than just us posting texts with the hashtag and leaving it to the algorithm to determine. Help them, because if you've got an interesting match that you want to sell, and on its own it's a boring a product, and it's probably not going to get people excited. By cross-posting and tagging and all that, it gets the algorithm saying, okay, these people are likely to buy this product or like this product, and that's why they've been tagged. Let's boost it to their audience, your audience, and more, and whoever else that you've cross-pollinated with. So with that, I thank you so much. I hope it wasn't too much. It wasn't too rushed and too much at once. I welcome your feedback. And if you've got a phone, you can scan that QR code. It takes you to Ardy Marketing for feedback. And then my URL is right there. Just type it out and send me a review. Tell me how I did. Tell me what I should improve on, or what we should provide you with. Any feedback is welcome. I'll be back. Hang on with that for just a second. What's coming up soon is the chat. This chat is on, October 28th. And what we do is, instead of a presentation like we just did, we have guests from cross industries in Kenya that come and chat with us and answer questions, your questions, and just so that you get a different perspective, not just mine. And with that, I say, Asante, thank you. Thank you very much. So we will do Q&A now. Did I put people to sleep? I hope you liked it. I hope it was helpful.
Hi, Eunice. This is Rita.
Hi, Rita.
I just want to say thank you for this quick little breakdown We're definitely, I have to admit, I was surprised that LinkedIn is so utilized here.
Yeah.
And so we're definitely, a lot of the things that you've discussed today is kind of what we've already discussed in our marketing team. And so this was actually a really nice reinforcer. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. We're definitely going to take into account how you were saying, using the engaging questions and doing maybe some contests and trying to do a little bit more on Facebook, as we are more heavy on Instagram.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that feedback, Rita, sorry.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you, Eunice. There was a question that was raised earlier on. So Grace was asking, should brands share the same content across all their different social media platforms, or customize it instead to speak to different audiences? So maybe you can respond to that.
Yes, I would lean towards customizing it to put a spin, your spin on things, right? So if I wrote a blog post about the social media tips we just talked about today, and you, Grace, wanted to amplify it more and say, hey, this is what my biz marketer said about social media marketing today. Here's what I think too. And then you add your spin to it. It for one, it helps you, because now you're putting your expertise in it. But also what search engines do is, if they see a duplicate of a content, they tend to now negate all of it. So if you posted exactly what I did, and this is for the most part on blogs, that doesn't help us. So putting a spin and saying, hey, this is what I found, and then your caption, so then they see the difference. There's an update to it, the data is different. So I posted today, you do it tomorrow. There's a different message in it, it helps. So on your social media platform, it even helps even more. There's no fear of messing up with the algorithms on social media. It's only on the search engines. So on that, yes, put a spin to it, because you want you want to elevate the message, but you also want to come across as knowledgeable or or expert, whatever. You want to put your own spin to it. For example, in Twitter, most people are retweeting stuff and they don't put comments. Sometimes I retweet stuff and I don't put comment. But when something touches me and I feel that I can add my 2 cents in, I put my comment. This is what I think about this, and wow, shouldn't this be different? Something like that. And what that does is that also starts a conversation, because somebody now knows a little bit more about me and about how I think about something, and want to either challenge it or affirm it, or even just grow the conversation. So yes, brilliant to do that. It's repurposing other people's content as well.
Great.
I hope that's helpful, Grace.
Yes, it is, Eunice. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. Come on, guys. You've got to have questions.
So Beatrice earlier on had mentioned that she's exhausted by the tons of ads on Instagram. And
yes.
Is there a way to get around that? Are there privacy settings to sort this out? Because they're too many.
Yes, there are. They are. You can say you want to see less ads. And in fact, if you see an ad that you think really doesn't speak to you, tell them it's not relevant to me. So the algorithm then learns what to present to you. But I think there's a way to turn off ads, and Facebook just changed the algorithm. So did Instagram. So I don't know what those settings are right now. So we'd have to go back in there and check. But there was a way to reduce those ads. You're not going to cut them all off, that's for sure, but you can reduce. And the type, how many times you see the same ad too. You can tell them, I'm done, don't show me this again.
Yes, yeah, thanks, Eunice. Yeah, because I started using Instagram this year, and very fast I found out that it was really overwhelming, because I'm getting always, I started, of course, following and selecting key accounts that I really want to follow. And then I'm getting tons of ads and Instagram posts that, for example, if you check, I don't know, you check a pallet furniture and then suddenly you are going to get all the, the Instagram posts related to furniture or pallet furniture or even everything, and you don't need. So I'm wasting my time to delete all these things as a spam. So I don't enjoy checking Instagram. Because I can see that as soon as you check an information that is, you like or you enjoy reading, so after you get plenty of similar ads, and it's wasting time, it's time consuming, so I don't enjoy using him. And I went through all the settings one by one. I check in French, in English, everything. And I said, I'm going to get rid of all these things, So I don't find it very, very friendly to use. Really, honestly. Compared to Facebook and Twitter, I've been on Facebook, Twitter for many years, even LinkedIn. I'm a dinosaur on LinkedIn. But and LinkedIn is very different because I'm not going to sell the biomass briquettes, on LinkedIn. It's very powerful for expanding the business network, and it's working very well for that. But really, Instagram, I don't enjoy. Really, I don't enjoy using it at all.
I hear you, Beatrice. I totally hear you. But here's the catch-22. You want people to see your ad when you boost it on Instagram, right? So, we as marketers or in business owners, we have to balance this fine line of how much content ads we're putting out there, because this is how our users feel. It's too much. If I see your briquettes again and they've seen them 30 times this month, I might just turn you off. So there's a balance. And rule of thumb for me, and when we do what we call remarketing, and when you do an ad on Google Ads or Facebook, and you've turned on retargeting, is that you probably say, let my ad be seen twice a day. The folks who want the ad to be seen 4 times a day, and what happens with that is it gets to the point where users like yourself say, this is too much, I don't want to see this anymore, and then they turn it off. And then that tells the algorithm, gosh, people don't like this product. And it's not like they don't like the product, it's that they don't want to see the ad. So you have to balance how what your remarketing is or retargeting is like. When you place an ad on any platform, limit the number of times it shows up. If a user has seen it once today, so Eunice sees it on her Facebook feed, and then she sees it on her Instagram, she should not see it again until tomorrow. That way, there's no user fatigue. And I think most brands have not figured that out, to turn on how frequently their ad shows up.
Yes, I think also I need to really understand, all the settings. I went through ads, privacy, everything. And I don't know. I need to sit down for a coffee with you.
Yes, let's do that. Yeah, absolutely do that. So Beatrice, you've just teased out a tip, is when you boost, you're making sure your ads, are not showing too often, so people don't start to decline to see the ad, because they're not declining your products and services. It's that they've seen it too many times.
No, but it's not my post. Even I'm not posting on Instagram. I found it really not funny at all. And but when I check, it's getting plenty of content that I don't want to see. Does it make me feel to use Instagram? It's really overwhelming, as I say. Yeah, really.
I hear you. I hear you. Awesome. Thank you, Beatrice.
Thanks, Eunice. Moving on, Sakami from South Africa wrote this. I run a crafts condiment in South Africa. My challenge is engagement with my audience and also growing it. I guess I don't have a strategy for it, and I'm not sure how to create a strategy for this. Kindly advise on what sort of content I can create to grow my brand other than posting my products with possible meals to use my products on. So I guess he wants you to comment on strategy and the kind of content to grow his brand.
How about a giveaway? How about a demonstration on how you make that product? How about you ask your audience what they like about your products or how they use their products, so they generate content. So you've got customers that have bought your product, ask them and tag them, ask them how they're using it, and if they can do a video for Facebook or Instagram or TikTok on how they're using your product, the better. And actually you can say, hey, there's customer X and this is how they use this product. How are you using this product? And then continuously generates user generated content for you. And then tell a story. If you're, how do you go from the beginning of that product to the end to where it goes to the market? So there's so many ways you can do this. Behind the scenes as well at your business, talking to a customer, even interviewing a customer on how they're using your product. That's content that that gives you a review and that you then share on Facebook and tag that customer so that the users can continue to engage with it. So there's many ways to do it. It's just what's best for you and your audience without knowing exactly who's buying the product to then tailor make it and figure out how that your content should be consumed. Is video the best? Is image the best? Would chats or webinars help? So you'd have to really say pick one, and because sometimes like Beatrice is saying, she's overwhelmed with what she's seeing. But imagine if you have to create that level and amount of content and you're on your own and don't have a team. So maybe deciding this month we're doing a story on how we make product X and how product X goes from A being on our table here on our warehouse goes to all the way to the customer, and then you show the customer receiving it. So there's so many ways to go with this.
Thank you for that. Could you please comment on tips on how to bring a campaign to life?
Well,
now the question by Sako.
Okay, so depending on the campaign, you're thinking about all the channels that campaign should go on, right? And the one thing is, I noticed that we do is probably just do a boost on Facebook and leave it at that. It does not go across all channels. So meaning that I see your ad on Facebook, but I don't see it on Instagram, and I don't see it on Twitter, and I don't see anything else on LinkedIn. So here's a thought. The way to bring it alive is maybe create that boost. Have a blog post about it, right? So let's say, I'll give an example of my business. So I'm going to talk about social media tips. We've done a webinar. I post the video of the webinar here, and then I write out a tutorial on how to do something on Instagram or TikTok, and then share it, right? What I then do is do a reel on Instagram, and also in line with the boost. The imagery is all the same across the board. So as the consumer is seeing the same thing and sees the story from the ad, you demonstrating how to do this, plus the webinar on the full gamut of social media tips. And then the down below is maybe a downloadable Word doc PDF on how to do what I talked about. And then what then you do is continuously share this content throughout the length of that campaign. So if the campaign is 30 days on Facebook, Instagram, and maybe YouTube, then on your Twitter or Snapchat, whatever, you've shared that, you're sharing, continuously sharing that post, if it's in a blog post, adding to the story, so that it builds up on it, because that then gives you additional data. It gives you other ways to convert. It then also saves you money, so you're not, you're not running ads on every platform, but which you could do if you have the budget to do, so that then that vibrates your stories out even further. But the thing to do is not to just focus on one platform, is to make sure there's a story across the board.
Thank you, Eunice. I'm trying to see if there are more questions here. How would you, what is the best way to market a mobile app on social media? Should I use influencers or use paid ads?
Depends on the influencer. You could do both. You could do either. It just depends on the goal. So if you're going after downloads, I would say try and run an ad on YouTube, on search, on games. For example, if people are playing games on their phones, they're likely to have gone to a download facility to download their apps. And so you want that ad running on the games platforms. Run it on YouTube, where people are constantly consuming video and are likely to see it faster than anywhere else. Then search. Then next is social. The stats on downloads of apps from social is far lower than if you're doing search and display on Google Ads or Bing Ads. Now, if your app is for anybody in the world, the better. So you've got a bigger audience to play. You can blanketly put that ad out, just define the age group and the type. So I don't know if it's a healthcare app or whatever it is. So you then decide who the audience needs to see, that needs to see it. That way you're getting the right user downloading their app, as opposed to just blanketing putting it out there, and you're getting users who download and then figure that's not the app for them.
Okay. Hi, Eunice.
Hi.
Hi. So I wanted to add on to that comment about marketing your app. So the biggest challenge would be figuring out who your audience is. So that's where 90% of your work should be. Once you figure out who your audience is and what exactly you want to achieve with the app, do you want to achieve downloads? Do you want to achieve daily active users, returning users, whatever it is? Once you have that metric, there is an option to work with mobile manufacturers. So if you're in Kenya, one example would be Techno. Yep. So Techno and all those others, they have a program where you can partner with them and agree on a rate where you pay them for every install. You can choose to pay them maybe like 5 shillings for every install. Okay. And they guarantee you a certain number of installations. So what this would do is they'd add you to their platform, and then it allows you to target users. So you say that I want people who have bought a certain type of phone. So that would indicate their wallet size and how much they're willing to spend. And I want those who've done it within this certain period, maybe age demographics, or those who are active or who update their apps every day, all those kinds of metrics. So you select all those, and then you say, I want, like, it will give you the same thing like on Facebook, where it tells you you have maybe 10,000 or 20,000 targeted users. So that's what you target. And then you only pay per installation. So what someone like Techno will do, they will push what is called like a shadow icon. I don't know, those who have Technos, maybe they've seen apps show up on their phone that you never installed, don't even know where they came from. When you click on it, it starts downloading, and then it pops up and starts doing whatever. So that's what they do. And there are platforms that allow you to track to make sure that those installs and things are legitimate users. So there's no ad fraud and there's no click fraud for such. it can take a bit of time to set up, about a month or a month and a half. But if your goal is mass market, so something like a digital loans app, like mobile loans or social media or things like that, that is usually a very fast way to get your product into the market.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry. That is awesome. Thank you. You always want to begin with the audience. Absolutely.
Thanks for that, Terry and Eunice. I think the last question we have here is, how would you outline a work plan for a social media campaign?
Wow, that's a good one. So the first of all is beginning with your goals and objectives. Really, what do you want to achieve? Say we're heading to Christmas season and you want to run campaigns to boost sales for Christmas. Begin now. Do not wait till December 1 to start. Begin now. And the first thing you're doing is deciding, when you figured out what your goal is we want to boost our sales 20%. Or we want to move this old merchandise off our stores as much as possible. So we're going to do a discount of this. So we're going to do a heavy promotion of this merchandise. So it's do your imagery, you've collected all your content, and then decide how this content is going to be consumed. How do you want it to appear or be, to really represent your brand? Do you want people sharing this content so that it drives more consumers to come to the website and purchase your product? So for example, we're selling a football t-shirt with some famous footballer or a rugby player, whatever. So you take a picture of it, the t-shirt, and then maybe the picture of the rugby player, and hopefully you have permission to use his image. And then you share it out and say, hey, we're selling this at 20% off. This is our Christmas sale. This could be a gift to your brother, your cousin, whoever loves rugby. And you start thinking that way and putting together these content types to distribute out towards Christmas and constantly pushing it. So the beginnings are the goal and objectives, and then the creating of the calendar on when to boost, on when to post, agreeing on content type, and then driving of engagement. It's not complicated if laid out that way. And of course, let me add, you have a bit of budget to to help you with the boosting and all. Does that answer it?
Yeah, I think that's it. That's it for the questions, unless someone else has a question.
All right, people, we are actually out of time. We did well. I really appreciate those questions. And I know there's a WhatsApp group that we built, that Ardy Marketing and MBM, My Biz Marketer has, that if you have further questions, you could join and ask us there. So feel free to ask or email us or contact us. We're here to help you. So please don't hesitate to ask any questions. And the goal is, the better we are at marketing our products and services, the better we are at reaching our ROI. But if we don't understand the platforms and don't understand what's going on with them and how to achieve the most out of them, we're going to make mistakes and spend a lot of money and waste our time. So before diving in, we choose to understand first, and where you don't, ask. Asanteni. Thank you.